Okay, so I just filmed the first part of that video. I'm probably not going to do too many edits in it because, like I said, I kind of wanted it to be like organic. Um, and I'm not doing anything spectacular. I'm not moving around or anything. I'm just talking. Um, but yeah, in my last video, I said we found out we were pregnant on the 2nd of May. And actually, we waited a few days before we went to the hospital because I think we were just so like, is this really real? You know, we actually went 2 days later. Um, and I already discussed everything that happened at the hospital. So after it was, we went to the hospital on the 4th. After that, I have notes too. So if you see me look down, I'm just looking at them because I am a scatterbrain. I forget everything. And you'll notice that a lot. The more videos I do, I tend to lose my train of thought. Um, But on the 10th, we actually made our very first official doctor's appointment, like not the hospital, like a doctor's appointment. And they just kind of did like the first initial like questions, like family history. They didn't really do any physical stuff. They didn't like they just weighed me. Um, and I did do a blood test, but that was the next day because the lab, when I went that day on the 10th, actually closed at 4:30, and my appointment was at like 4:30, so I didn't get out till like 5. So, the lab was closed by the time I got done. So I just went the next day, and it was like in and out, like it's so fast. And they took like 4 vials of blood. They just checked like my, levels, and um, they did the AIDS test and stuff like that, HIV. I have my paper somewhere. I don't want to show you my information though. But yeah, they just did like the normal testing stuff. Um, and then, what was my next appointment? Oh, my next appointment was on the 21st of June. And that was my ultrasound and a blood test. Because actually, when I did go to my first official appointment, the doctor asked me if I wanted to do a test, which was optional, which was the test to check for like abnormalities, chromosomal, things, Down syndrome, like stuff like that. And, me and my fiance kind of, we didn't really totally give it time to like sink in or like really, really discuss it or think about it. We just kind of like on the spot, we're like, yeah, yeah. So, she was like, well, you can come in, which was the day, the 21st of June, which was when we had our ultrasound and stuff. That was the day that we were supposed to do the blood test, too, to check for all that. I only did 1 vial, and it was like that little. It was the tiniest thing. I was like, I don't know why I thought they were going to take more vials of blood, but they didn't. I was like, well, okay. But, yeah, that day, the 21st of June, we went in for our first ultrasound, and um, they checked the baby. And actually, another thing that I have is fibroids, and I have a few of them actually. And they were discussing like how they could grow as my pregnancy progresses, and one of the fibroids is actually pretty big. They didn't say it's huge or anything, but they said it's decent size, and it's like, something to pay attention to. The other ones aren't so big, but they're still, wanting to keep an eye on them. But they measured them, checked them a little bit, um, checked my ovaries, then checked the baby, measured them, looked at their blood flow, showed us their brain and everything. And I remember when I first sat down on the table, it was like kind of surreal because I almost like I said, it's been like so many years since we were trying, and it's still so surreal to me that we're really gonna have a baby because we've been trying for so long, and I really didn't think I was gonna see anything on the screen. I was like, this can't, like, I'm still thinking I'm like in a dream almost. So they put, the ultrasound little thing on me, and you see baby, and I'm like, oh my god, there's a baby in there. I It's like my body, and I'm like, there's a baby in me. Like, really? That's all like crazy I am. Like, I'm like, no, is this real? Like, I have to keep asking. Um, but it was like the most awesome, magical thing that I've ever seen, and I didn't want to stop looking at them. And like when they shut it off when they were done, I was like, please turn it back on. I could sit there and look at my baby all day. I really could. And they were like moving around. They looked like they were boxing. And even the doctor was like, I can't get a good picture because your baby won't stop moving. I'm like, isn't that a good thing? I think it is. And even my fiance, he was just like, oh my god, like he just his face lit right up. He's a proud papa already, you can tell. And they checked the umbilical cord and everything. And another thing they told us was that it actually looked like the umbilical cord had attached to the side. It was like, she said, it's off to the side. And I remember thinking, well, what does that mean? And she didn't really elaborate. She didn't really say much. And I was like, what does that mean? And me and my fiance just kind of looked at each other like, you know, oh, is that bad? Is that good? Like, what does that even mean? So, we're just happy we got to see the baby. So we didn't really think too much on it. So we leave, we do the blood test, and then we leave. We're done. So then we, go home, kind of look up what the side umbilical thing means, and I guess it means like, um, well, the doctor did also say that this happens sometimes, and it's like pretty common, and she said it was nothing to worry about. And she did mention that the thing that she did mention about it was the umbilical cord is supposed to attach more in the center, and I guess ours is like on the edge, she said, or the side. So, but I mean, we didn't hear much more than that. So I was like, okay, that sounds like weird, but is that like, we just didn't know if it was bad or good. So, like I said, we leave, we do the blood test, we leave. We go home, kind of look it up, do a little more research into it since we're like kind of in the dark. We don't know what it means or what's going on. And it, like, I guess like there are some complications with it, or there could be, but there's two different kinds of um they call it umbilical insertion. There's like a marginal, and then there's one that starts with a V. I can't pronounce it for this, the sake of anything. But um I guess marginal is the one that's not so bad. Like, I guess a majority of women who do get that have really, normal pregnancies and births and stuff like that. But, it's still a little worrying, but I mean, the doctors didn't seem too concerned about it. So I mean, you think about it, but you try not to think too much about it because you don't want to worry yourself. Um, so they told me usually they see women back at the ultrasound, you know, at their 20-week mark. I am currently 14 weeks and 2 days. So they told me that they wanted me to come back on the 21st of July. So, because they actually want to do two different ultrasounds. They want to do an ultrasound check my fibroids to see how big they are, if they've grown, um, probably lay out my options because there is a chance that I could need a C-section, which, doesn't bother me at all. Whatever I have to do to make sure I deliver a healthy baby, I will do. Doesn't bother me. I don't feel like I'm missing out as long as my baby's here. That's all I care about. And the other ultrasound is um, to check the baby's umbilical. I think they want to diagnose what kind it is, if it's marginal or the one that starts with a V, and where we go from there. I do know, however, because I've discussed this with other women online who have had the same thing, or who, like, just seen posts and stuff online and like discussion boards with pregnancy and stuff, um, that doctors do prefer to see their patients who are diagnosed with these things every like 4 weeks instead of like however long it is for other women. I don't know if that's, you know, normal or different or whatever. I don't know like the normal range of before like doctors see their patients. I don't know if that's like normal already, but that's just what my doctor said. She said usually 20 weeks, but she wants me to come in before then. So, um, I'm gonna go see her again about that. But I kind of don't mind because then I get to see my little baby again, and I'm totally fine with that. And oh, the blood test I took, the doctor actually did call me back. The genetic counselor, not like not my doctor, but the genetic counselor, and she did say that she didn't say my baby does have Down syndrome. She said that there's a percentage or a chance that my baby could have Down syndrome. And she said my chance is 1 in 65, or a 1 to 2% chance. Meaning that if there's 65 clones of me, only one of me out of the 65 can produce a baby with Down syndrome. Now, the risk is really low, but it's still a little scary. So, I mean, it's definitely something I wish I didn't really end up doing, like doing the test. But I mean, at the time, it seemed like, me, like I said, me in my last video, me and my fiance discussed it a bit, and we really, we really want to do this. We didn't really give it a whole lot of thought. And I mean, it's not that I totally regret it, because at least now I know the chances. But I mean, after this, they said you could do, they gave us three options. They said you can come in and you can do another blood test, and the second blood test would be a little more invasive, I guess, a little more detailed. And if I did that test too, it would tell me the gender of the baby too, which is awesome. But it's still, you're going in for a pretty scary thing. They're gonna tell you if there's, you know, something going on with your baby or not. And they said the second option was, I forget the name of it. When they take a sample of the fluid around the baby. God, I can't. I'm having a brain fart right now. Jeez, what is it? I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments, because I totally forgot. But they said we could do that, and they did go on to tell me, if we do that though, there is a risk that this procedure can have you miscarry. And I was like, definitely not going to do that. Not even worth it. And they said the third option was to just not do anything at all. So, I remember feeling like really distraught. I was pretty upset that day. Um, so, I just made an appointment then. Like, the genetic counselor was sweet as freaking pie. And she actually told me, you can think about this. You can call me back whenever. She even gave me her direct number, said, call me. You can call me whenever if you have any questions or concerns. If you want to set up an appointment, you can whenever you want to. And I was like, I want to set up an appointment today. And she's like, oh, okay. So I set up an appointment to do a follow-up blood test, because that's the one I chose. And that was scheduled for the 27th. And I ended up canceling that. And I canceled because after I got over my initial hysteria, me and my fiance sat down, we had a serious talk, and we decided, whatever happens, happens. We're going to love our baby regardless. We've waited 9 years to become parents. And in a perfect world, every parent wants their child to be healthy and happy, and you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm going to love my baby regardless. Now, that's not to say that I'm not still worried. Of course I am. You know, you think about the what ifs, and then you think, well, if that is a possibility, like you think of your child, their struggles and stuff like that, things they may have to go through, and that's a scary thought because this world is pretty cruel. You know, that's not something you want to see. I mean, the world is going to be cruel regardless, but it's just something that kind of you think about and weighs on you a bit. But we just decided we don't want to know, so we just canceled it. But the awesome part was they said if we ever changed our mind, we could always go back and do the test at any point. So I thought that was really like awesome. And so they asked us because I actually had an appointment today with my regular doctor and checked the heartbeat and everything of the baby, and it's actually 140 beats per minute. And they said that's really good because usually the range is like 110 to 160, I believe they said. So ours is good. And then they measured like from my pelvic to like, you know, where everything is, how long, like 13 centimeters, I believe they said. But I mean, other than that, they said everything looks great, everything looks normal, and I'm just gonna hope for the best. I'm just trying to like be in the moment and be excited and not try to worry about the what ifs because we're just so ecstatic to even have this chance to be parents. You know, we've wanted this for so long, and it's just, you know, I don't want to go through my pregnancy stressed out and worrying about what ifs. I want to enjoy every little thing, you know, every doctor's appointment. I don't want to sit there and stew and worry about what if they tell us this, or what if it's this, or what if this happens, you know? I just don't think that's any way to go through this pregnancy, especially, like I said, we've been waiting for so long. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to update. It's just, I guess this is kind of an overall update. So, I'm going to try to do an update at my 15-week mark. Don't quote me on it because, like I said, I do tend to slack and procrastinate and all that. But I do want to get back into the swing of things, and I do want to start vlogging, and I do want to start doing updates, especially now because this is just like a really good time in my life. I feel completely overjoyed, and I know I seem like low energy right now, but I am like I said in my last video, I'm totally freaking exhausted. And yeah, but I do have a little picture of little baby bean, little baby biscuit, as we like to call the baby. Doesn't that look like a bubble right there? But yeah, that's our little biscuit. That's what we call the baby for now. Little biscuit. But yeah, I guess I'll just end the video now. I'll see you guys at the 15 week or whenever. But I'll try to keep updating and keep you guys up to date. Or, you know, like I said, these videos are mostly for myself and stuff like that. But it's always nice to have people follow along and stuff. And especially other ladies to talk to these things about. But until next time, I will talk to you all later. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.